Hello, aspirants. Welcome to Daily Dose 20th August News. We are going to do all the important snippets which have been covered in today's newspaper. And before that, again, reminding you all to please fill the Daily Streak Initiative form where you will be getting all the free UPSC important materials, proper guidance, hand holding where you will be provided with free timetables, free sessions with important mentors in civil study. You will be provided with important articles covering from famous magazines and also a compilation of all the important editorials and everything. So that is a very great initiative by our civil study team. I want you all to please go through the link in the description box, just fill the form and have an experience. Starting with today's news, the first in news is CM to inaugurate city's first mock tower. So basically this is a news which is related to Delhi, but this news is not something which is only a step by Delhi government, but it's a very major step or a very crucial step which was needed in order to curb the pollution problem which is there from a long time, which is occurring in Delhi, New Delhi, right? So because of lot of pollutants which is there in the surrounding areas in Delhi, because of stubble burning, because of the landlocked reason that Delhi becomes one of the most polluted city. In the world ranking also it has got one of the major city which is becoming more and more polluted every day. People are facing a lot of problem, and on that perspective, on that basis, Supreme Court gave an order to install a smog tower, right? So important over here is the first thing is that it is an initiative by the Delhi government, but such kind of initiatives can be taken in other polluted centers also. So that is one of the things that can be replicated in other states, right? So taking a cue from this, other states too can adopt. This is on a pilot basis where right now, as of now, the smog tower has been installed at Connaught Place in Delhi, and it was in accordance with the Central Pollution Control Board Act, which was Central Pollution Control Board initiative, which was held by which was given a permission or given an order by the Supreme Court to install something or to curb the pollution happening in the Delhi region, right? So because of that, it started this thing. And what is this? It is a 24-meter tower basically, right? So it is a 24-meter tower made of steel and cement structures, and it is a long tower where a lot of filters and fans are placed, right? So on the top there are a lot of fans or the filters which are there, which can suck the polluted air, and then with the passing through all the filters throughout that tower, that clean air will come out from the bottom of that tower, right? So this is how this whole mechanism will work out in this, and it will also be a first step, or if it becomes a successful step, it can be replicated in other states also, in other cities also, which are under the pollution list. So this is an initiative by the Delhi government. I want you all to just go through what smog tower is and how it works and everything, right? Next is Namami Gange in association with NIUA announces winners of Reimagining Urban Rivers, a national level thesis competition. So important over here is, first of all, Namami Gange mission. What is Namami Gange? When it was started? Who is the chairperson of this particular committee? What kind of success it has achieved, and in which states it has been implemented? All these things are the back linkages which you have to go through, because UPSC tends to ask such questions from back linkages. So in 2005, I think it started, and later on, lot of changes and modifications have been done in this. And now with NIUA, that National Institute for Urban Affairs, along with that, and Namami Gange, that is National Mission for Clean Ganga, which has started, it has organized a Reimagining Urban Rivers. Now you can take this as a database for your essay answers, right? For your essay writing and also for your mains answer. So Namami Gange and National Institute of Urban Affairs, it started a thesis level competition, right? Because so it is basically a joint initiative, and it has been started in order to make people aware of what kind of adversities they are facing because of the pollution of the river. And it is their level of awareness which is required. So basically, they are targeting the most important section of society, that is the youth and the children. जहां से मेन मोल्ड शुरू होता है वहीं पे दे आर टारगेटिंग, encouraging them to come up with new innovative ideas, new solutions in order to curb the pollution in the rivers and all the rivers which are passing through those states. So it's a kind of competition, a thesis level competition, research based competition, which has been occurred in various schools, and this thing has been done, right? So it is an to promulgate river sensitive development in our cities, first of its kind initiative to engage the young minds to research and envisage the solutions to the river problems which is flowing through their states. Purpose of this was a sponsored thesis competition to tap into the intellect and creativity of the students, basically to arrive at innovative solution for reimagining the outlook and management. Along with this, so there are three kinds of competition with three themes that had occurred over here. That is, the first is reimagining water bodies and wetlands. So it is covering not only all the water bodies, rivers, but also the wetland areas. Then developing eco-friendly riverfront projects and promoting river tourism. So a sustainable tourism, basically, so that the rivers don't get polluted, and also it will provide a livelihood to the people who are living beside the village, the river areas, right? So it is basically this scheme or this plan is to inculcate or to bring up the minds, bring up the innovative solutions which are there in the minds of the children, so that they will get encouraged to come up with further ideas, and the rivers will get clean with the help of such solutions, right? So that's why this has come into picture. And these three schemes, that is all important from this news piece. The next is Government of India developed robust mechanism for online trading of energy saving certificates. Now this is not a new scheme, but recently prizes have been awarded, or new energy saving certificate have been provided. The detail of energy saving certificate, it has been provided in the environment lecture, but over here I'll give you an overview. कि energy saving certificate basically are given to the industries. ठीक है, उन industries को दिया जाता है those which have achieved the target of reducing the emissions, reducing the carbon emissions with the help of certain clean mechanism, with the help of certain new technologies with which they have tend to curb down the emissions which is occurring in their industries. तो उन इंडस्ट्रियल यूनिट्स को एनर्जी सेविंग सर्टिफिकेट, आइदर दे अडॉप्ट सम न्यू बिल्डिंग मेजर्स, ठीक है, जहां पे एनर्जी का सेव हो, जहां एनर्जी सेविंग हो सके, moving towards renewable energy structure, moving towards providing certain technologies, advanced technologies, working in such areas where the emission of harmful gases, harmful pollutants can be curbed, right? तो एनर्जी सेव करना, रेफ्रिजरेशन में, कूलेंट्स में, ऑल दीज थिंग्स जहां पे भी इनोवेटिव सोल्यूशन लगा के दे आर reducing their energy consumption, to those industrial units this energy saving certificate is being provided. Coming into the detail of this, Ministry of Power has issued more than 57 lakhs energy saving certificates to 349 industrial units because they saved more energy than their target. So this is an encouraging scheme for the industrial units, those who are working towards this thing, that they are reducing their energy consumption, right, in a sustainable way. So India being only the G20 country which is on track to below 2-degree rise as per the Paris Agreement. So that is also an encouraging thing which is providing more fervor to the people, to the industrial areas which are working in this arena, right? One of the flagship initiative under this scheme was Perform, Achieve and Trade, PAT. And a question related to this had come in, I think, 2013 or 14 exam. So Perform, Achieve and Trade, it was implemented under the cycle 2, that is 2016 to 19, covering 621 large industries from 11 sectors, which are one of the most polluting sectors or which are more prone to pollution, right? Bureau of Energy Efficiency is the piloting initiative for this particular scheme, PAT. Then the scheme is a market-based mechanism under the National Mission for Enhanced Energy Efficiency, or NMEEE, which is to enhance the cost effectiveness of the industrial units through certification of excess energy savings in energy intensive industries that can be traded. So like the clean development mechanism, carbon emission trading, which is being done in the same way, this performance achieve and trade agreement is based on the number of units you are saving in your consumption of energy, that can be traded in the form of energy saving certificates, and you will be provided with certain incentives. This is how this mechanism works. Also, an energy audit is done in order to verify the baseline data, that is the current level of efficiency and how much efficiently you have worked upon it. Thereafter, energy saving targets are given to the industries, right? Units that are unable to meet their targets, either through their own actions or through the purchase of these certificates, energy saving certificates, they are liable to financial penalty also under the Energy Conservation Act 2001. These are important things from your prelims perspective. Such kind of straight away statements can come because this is a news piece from the PIB side, right? About BE, that is Bureau of Energy Efficiency. So organizations, it is there in your syllabus. They can go through, they can ask such questions from this also. The Government of India has set up the Bureau of Energy Efficiency. It was on 1st March 2002 when it came into play under the provision of Energy Conservation Act 2001. So this is basically a statutory body because it is formed under an act, that is Energy Conservation Act 2001. Now they can give you it is under Ministry of Power, Ministry of some other Ministry of Renewable Energy. So it is under Ministry of Power and statutory body under Energy Conservation, right? Mission of this particular organization is to assist in developing policies and strategies with a thrust on self-regulation and market principles. So all the industrial units which are coming, which are looking forward for certain policies in order to save energy, for them the Bureau of Energy Efficiency make policies and strategies. The primary objective is to reduce energy intensity of the Indian economy within the overall framework of Energy Conservation Act 2001. Now I want you all to just go through once this Energy Conservation Act also, where you can get certain important points which can be utilized in your mains answer also, right? ऐसे ही कर करके डेटा इकट्ठा करने की कोशिश किया करो. The next in news is telcos knock on center's door for relief. So already a lot of issues are going on in this telecom sector. The regulatory body TRAI has also brought in certain issues which are going on in the telecom sector areas. And as we are moving towards towards adaptation of 5G technology, towards adaptation of newer technologies, cutting edge arenas, these telecom companies are now coming with their own problems and issues which the government has to solve as soon as possible so that they can work upon their areas efficiently. So for that, this industry has come in. Now, from your prelims, problems and everything will be covered in your mains, these articles which has come from the mains perspective and editorials. What I want you all here to learn is about AGR, that is Adjusted Gross Revenue, a term which has been in news from a very long time because of the issues which are going on in between the telecom companies and the Department of Telecommunication. So what is AGR and what is all the history of this telecom policy which has come into play? Those things we will be doing with. Along with that, I want you all to just go through this article because you will get certain points for which is important for mains, because this tells that what kind of way forward is needed in order to take these telecom companies out of the burden which they are going through, right? So just go through this article once. What you have to see over here is adjusted gross revenue. So what is adjusted gross revenue? It is the usage and licensing fee. It is basically a usage and licensing fee that telecom operators, they are charged by the Department of Telecommunication. So the licensing and the spectrum usage which is there with the telecom companies. अब कोई भी phone अगर काम कर रहा है तो कुछ spectrum allocation होता है, right? Like for 5G also we are allocating certain spectrum जिस पे वो work करेगा, जिस frequency पे वो work करेगा, जिस spectrum में वो work करेगा. For that, if that is a public material, that is a government material, if they have to utilize it, and these are private companies, right? तो अगर उन्हें utilize करना है तो they have to pay certain licensing fee. तो वही fee जो होता है usage and licensing fee, these telecom operators, they have to pay it to the government by the Department of Telecommunication. It is charged upon. That is known as adjusted gross revenue. Now this particular just revenue which you have, which the telecom operators have to give to the DOT, it is divided into two things, that is spectrum usage charges, whatever spectrum they are using, accordingly whatever price have been allocated to that particular spectrum that they have to pay, and the licensing fees. That is, if they have to operate in the country, whatever license they are required for by the telecommunication department, that they have to give. It is pegged between 3 to 5% and 8% respectively. So this spectrum usage charges 3 to 5%, licensing charges 8%. What is the sequence? What is the history of this whole telecom policy and that adjusted growth? So I'm giving you a background so that further जब भी news article आएगा तो you will be able to relate it whatever ideas by these particular ideas, right? So the first national telecom policy in India, it came in the year 1994 when IT revolution started and everything occurred. So in the year 1994, license were given to the telecom majors through license under Indian Telegraph Act of 1885. तब इस basis पे licensing fee जो है वो ली जाती थी telecom operator से. In which year? 1994 में when the national telecom policy came into play, right? वहां पे क्या था कि there was a fixed annual fee which was very high, and on that basis, because of that, the telecom operators were not able to pay such high fees. क्यों? क्योंकि उस टाइम पे डेटा यूजर्स भी तो बहुत कम थे. वहां पे टेलीकॉम जब फोन आया नया तो हाउ मेनी यूजर्स वर देयर? नाउ इट्स लाइक every second person has a telephone, has a mobile phone, everything. तब लैंडलाइन हुआ करते थे, तब बहुत कम घरों में फोन्स हुआ करते थे, राइट? तो वहां पे this fees was, and it was annually fixed, right? So what happened is they have become defaulted in order for paying their licensing fee. ठीक है? So in order to avoid that situation, in 1999 certain modifications came into play and a new telecom policy was unveiled where migration from fixed annual fee based license, it turned to revenue sharing model. तो रेवेन्यू शेयरिंग मॉडल और प्रोडक्शन बेस्ड मॉडल होते हैं, दो टाइप्स के जो जिसमें गवर्नमेंट को पे करना होता है कंपनीज को. सो रेवेन्यू शेयरिंग मॉडल इज बेसिकली कि सर्टेन अमाउंट आफ्टर योर यूसेज, मतलब कंपनीज यूसेज, सर्टेन अमाउंट हैज टू बी गिवन टू द गवर्नमेंट. तो उसके अबव जितना भी आपका जाएगा वो अमाउंट यू हैव टू पे टू द गवर्नमेंट. तो वहां पे एनुअल कुछ फिक्स नहीं होता है. डिपेंडिंग ऑन योर प्रॉफिट, डिपेंडिंग ऑन योर डिविडेंड्स, यू हैव टू पे टू द government, right? So we moved on from annual fee to the revenue sharing model. So the telecom sector involves both license fee and spectrum usage charges. The Department of Telecommunication, it started levying anywhere between 3 to 5% as the spectrum usage charge towards the annual spectrum usage, which is considered too high even now. क्योंकि India is such a country जहाँ पे अगर देखा जाए तो स्पेक्ट्रम का अलोकेशन बहुत, देयर आर लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स, लॉट ऑफ लिमिटेशंस इवन इन द स्पेक्ट्रम यूसेज. फुल यूटिलाइजेशन स्पेक्ट्रम का हो नहीं रहा है, एंड बिकॉज ऑफ दैट द टेलीफोन कंपनीज, द टेलीकॉम कंपनीज आर नॉट एबल टू कलेक्ट द प्रॉपर यूसेज फी फ्रॉम द कस्टमर्स. उसके अलावा भी इट्स नॉट ओनली कि उनके साथ ही प्रॉब्लम है, द गवर्नमेंट इवन टू फेस लॉट ऑफ प्रॉब्लम्स. They too have their own limitations, right? तो इसकी वजह से there is always a dispute between the telecom companies and the government. The dispute between the DOT and the mobile operators has mainly on the definition of AGR. तो adjusted gross revenue में क्या क्या चीजें include होनी चाहिए और क्या नहीं include होनी चाहिए, because there is an ambiguity in that. That's why there is a conflict between these two, right? So the DOT argued that AGR, it includes all revenues before discounts from both telecom and non-telecom services. जबकि these people, these telecom companies, they say कि we will give you only the telecom charges. बाकी के जो dividends, profits वगैरह आ रहे हैं हमारे या investments आ रहे हैं, those things have to be given to us. That is not included in the AGR. तो यही dispute चल रहा है, and that is why these things are happening. So on the basis of that, these companies are now moving towards, trying to get into certain specific solution. Prelims point of view से ये चीजें important है. बाकी whatever things will come into picture, just go through to make the linkages, right? So with this, we end up our lecture today. Thank you, class. We'll meet tomorrow.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update from Civil's Daily.